Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Gore. This is Hollywood on the Rocks on a Wednesday. Breaking news. Lots of things are breaking. Today, we're going to discuss GINA Carano's suit against Disney and LucasFilm. She has filed a lawsuit. We're going to talk about it. Plus, other news stories that are breaking, including the Film Threat channel is under attack. That's right. Apparently, we ruffled some feathers with some potentially sensitive writers, and we're being attacked for that. Plus, it was only a matter of time. Blazing Saddles, yes, is now saddled with a warning. So we'll talk about that too. This is Film Threat on a Wednesday, Hollywood on the Rocks. Join us in the chat, your comments and questions and concerns as always. Let's get things started. Let's go. Where is Alan? Let's start the show. Have no clue what the heck.
Just wait till you see what I've got. It's the Wonder Boner.
The Wonder Boner?
Oh, you laugh now. Just watch. The Wonder Boner. My wife would like that. So, Dave, where did you get the Wonder Boner? It's funny you should ask.
Order your Wonder Boner now. Call toll-free 855-246-9948 and receive the amazing Wonder Boner for just $19.95.
How Stop obsessing about race, you stupid, midget-minded morons. That is not exactly what I was.
Alan!
I'm officially white adjacent now. That's
Yeah, you are.
oh
You are.
uh,
Oh my God. How's it going, man?
good. I guess I can survive the South.
We have so much to talk about. We're just gonna, yesterday, by the way, to be clear, yesterday was the anniversary of Film Threat.
Oh,
Yes, February 6th. I completely forgot about it.
I rely on you for those things.
a stack of old Film Threat magazines. Film Threat was created on February 6th, 1985, is the first issue of the magazine. This is like just a bunch of copies of old issues of Film Threat. Maybe they're worth something, who knows? But I forgot to mention it on social media, so that's my fault. But yeah, Film Threat created in 1985, so it is officially, well, if someone here was good at math, Alan?
Sorry, I was 39.
39 years old. So 39 years ago, yesterday, the first.
I didn't hear the
issue.
question, but I'm doing.
That's all good. That's all good. So 39 years ago, yesterday, the first Xeroxed fanzine issue of Film Threat was passed around for free at the campus of Wayne State University in Detroit. And there's a long story behind Film Threat through the decades that we will see in Film Threat Sucks, the upcoming documentary. So more news on that very soon. But let's see who's in the chat. Let's see who's here chatting with us today. Darth Yeager, welcome to Threat Level 1. Hey. Yes, if you have been, if you're a member of the channel, you get access to the Film Threat Discord. We also do giveaways, digital codes for movies. Additionally, we do member streams, and we post videos where when Alan and I get the opportunity to go to a screening of a movie and there's a Q&A, we will post the Q&A. In fact, I just bought tickets to see Godzilla -1 at the American Cinematheque this Saturday at 8 p.m. The director will be there doing a Q&A after the movie. I cannot wait. I got my plans for Saturday. I'm super stoked. I'll video the Q&A and I'll post it for members only. So
what time is it at?
8 p.m. It's at the American Cinematheque at the Aero Theater.
Okay. They're maybe I'll be there.
Why? Did you just get invited?
Oh, is it an invite? I thought it was just a regular thing. Then no, I won't
It's
be going.
completely sold out.
Okay.
But I'll film.
I will be in the area Saturday.
I'll film the Q. Well, let's meet up. We'll meet up and grab a bite to eat. Saturday night on the West Side, Aero Theater. Cool. Okay. More chats here before we buckle up. MK Solid 82, fasten your seatbelts. Chris won't be holding back today. Get ready. Isaac Abrams says, your sensitivity reading episode scared the hell out of me. Planning to make my first film this year. Sensitive material. Plan to get it on your independent circuit next year. Now I do not know. Just do it. Don't wait. Mike MC Wong says, at the movies right now, waiting for Promised Land to start, hoping it is as good as Chris said it is. I have not seen it
as good as I said it is.
Alan saw it, not me. Then watching, I am thinking about Dying, Scrambled, and Paprika in original Japanese. Mike's got some free time, more free time than me to see movies. And he says, Mike MC Wong says there's 3 new Chinese films, Taste of Things, Lisa Frankenstein, Monk with a Gun, just listing movies. Mike, I'll see you there tomorrow. So glad Elon is helping Gina Sue, says Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Laura Buckles says, oh man, I just watched that intro to Blazing Saddles on Max. My eyes rolled so far back in my head, I'm having to type this backwards.
Did I bring it up on the TV?
Yeah. It's the avant-garde video that keeps me coming back, says Castigan. And we have new members here, Jimmy Francis, along with Mr. Smith, member for 16 months, just says 69. JTP RX for 5 says, love Film Threat, and in the immortal words of Chris Gardner Roddick today, we need to out the corporate co-ex-uckers. One corporate co-ox. You can't. So for the first 30 minutes of a stream, we try to not swear. So maybe I'll reread this at the middle of the stream. So keep that one up. Jeremiah Embre, thank you for that. For 5 says, I went to my local comic book store and got the first issue of Transformers number for $50. I'm assuming maybe number 1. Akanika says, Chris, what was it like dealing with Larry Flint? Akanika for 18 months. I had a couple meetings with Larry Flint. He knew who I was because I was, as described by him, this is not me. He was I was the wonderkind. He said, because I would come in and kind of change a magazine, and all I did was just kind of change stuff on the cover and do things that I thought were really obvious because I was a big magazine fan. But yeah, it was interesting because I'll say this, it was very corporate in a certain sense. Like you had to be professional. He made everyone wear ties, but at the same time, it was, we're talking just about crazy stuff. It was like being maybe in a writer's room where there's just no, there's no limit on what you can talk about. And it was almost like because they had the adult magazines there, they were way more cognizant of the dangers of sexual harassment. We went to sexual harassment, training and all this. And then I worked out of Larry Flint in other corporate spaces, and there was way more just open harassment and jokes and whatnot. It was just so weird because you would think that it wouldn't be that way at Flint, but it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Because they were so aware of it, they really clamped down on
I think he's a bigger target in that arena as well.
True. So
yeah, but did you, it sounds like you kind of worked with them. You weren't like a direct, saw him every day.
No, he wasn't my direct supervisor. That was a guy named Jim Coles, who was the CFO of the company. So there you go. I'm unstarring some of these as we go. MK Solid 82. Hey, Chris, right now A24 is selling an Iron Claw magazine with poster, only $6. It's
I want the action figures.
Akanika member okay, we got to that one. My apologies. Nicholas Vargo says, hail, Chris and Alan. Saw Lisa Frankenstein at the Regal Mystery Movie on Monday and loved it. Seems I'm alone there, as many bad reviews for it, but I loved it. Screw the mainstream critics. Well, we'll talk about it on Friday.
Yeah. I have zero expectations. I've not seen a trailer. I just know the name. That's me going into it tomorrow.
I saw the film. I am withholding comment until
So I will
Alan
see
has
fresh
seen it.
tomorrow.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Bruce Leroy Jenkins for 2. After the nooner, my OCD ears self-deleted itself. Well, there you go. Bruce Leroy Jenkins. Love that name. Swaggerfield 93 for 2. I hope Gina and Elon take everything. Period. And Ron Enriquez, thank you again for recommending the Dune Part 2 popcorn bucket. I couldn't keep a straight face when I bought it at the concessions counter, but it's a nice addition to my Dune collection. Yeah, I have
the one that on the nightstand next to your bed. Yes.
Hey, mine is right here.
Well, there's one.
Right here. There's one. I have another one. I keep
the other one's at the nightstand by your bed.
Another one is just somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, the nightstand by your bed.
Yes, and Gun Ho Mac, member for 6 months, says, rumor has it Film Threat will be in Vegas to show FNT how to drink properly. My hotel is booked and my Dune bucket is full of butter. Well, as it should be. Alan, it looks like Alan and I will be going. I kind of feel like we need to pick South by Southwest or Vegas.
Well, I could find super cheap hotel rooms in Vegas. So well, you're worried about that aspect of it.
Well, let's talk after the stream.
Yeah,
it looks like,
but also, I have a connection. My connection told me not to mention their identity at all. But
what's the connection?
Yeah, exactly. No, I told you on text about a certain room we can get at a certain hotel.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's keep it our
secret. Do you not remember the text we have?
I do remember the text. I'm just not saying it out loud here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We can say it later, but if it happens. But I do have a show and tell real fast.
All right. Should we do a little graphic for Alan's show and tell?
Let's do a little show and tell here.
Wait. Don't. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'm not ready, Alan. I'm not ready.
You okay?
What? Yeah. I'm literally
doing but the plan is I think the desire is to go to the F&T meetup.
Okay. All right, that's we'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
Alan, you apparently were cleaning your garage.
Yes. I was cleaning the garage, found some old boxes that I didn't realize I had laying around. Thought these were lost for a very long time, but let's go full screen here. I found this.
Whoa!
Now this is, mind you, this is first generation. When Star Wars came out and the toy stores were selling Kenner toys, or Hasbro, I think it's Kenner. There we go. Now, no gun, no cape. There we go. Sand person. There's Luke. These are first gen, and I've got more. Here's Greedo and Death Star soldier. This stormtrooper has been outdoors a lot, and then Chewie. But I didn't think I had it, but I did. I saved up the proof of purchases, mailed away for it, and there it is.
What?
Boba Fett.
What? But the rocket doesn't.
Yeah, the rocket doesn't.
It's glued in. Oh,
remember, this got delayed because of this. Because of that,
right? It was a safety issue.
Decided to choke on one and ruin it for everybody.
Wow.
Okay, and then not only that, this is even worse condition. Do you know what that is?
No. What? Let me see.
It's a Micronaut.
Oh, no, that's not in very good condition.
That's not
the
a
time traveler.
And then
the dog is really going
plastic.
Wait,
what is this? Ones came out later.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, horrible.
Your dog is might want
yes, she's performing a.
Could you move your shoulder over there?
Back to me. Here we go. There we go. She's doing a bump check.
Yeah, well, that's I love it. That's cool.
Yeah, but first gen. I mean, I was an active collector.
Well, but they're not mint in box. They're not MIB.
No, all the accessories are gone. They not mint in box, and let's just say they spent several weeks in my backyard, just laying there.
Well, there you go. All right, we're gonna pivot here for a second. Apparently, Max has added a trigger warning to Blazing Saddles.
Do you have an image, or do you want me to pull it up?
Here it is.
Okay.
From Christian Toto's blog, Hollywood in Toto. Max adds trigger warning to Blazing Saddles. We're going to go through this real quick, and then we're going to go to your comments and discuss. Cancel culture finally comes from Mel Brooks' blistering satire on racism. By the way, if you have seen the movie Blazing Saddles, it is mocking racists.
Mhm.
It is making fun of people who are racist. It is mocking that. That is what the entire point of the film is. Written by Richard Pryor, legendary comedian, and Mel Brooks. Let's read this from Christian Toto's website here. We'll put the link in the description. Cancel culture has wiped entire films off the map, memory hold sitcom episodes, and coaxed programmers to warn viewers about select stories. Other films have watched problematic scenes snipped for our protection. It's all happened with few, if any, objections from Hollywood Inc. The trend gave rise to a phrase that should send chills up the spine of any self-respecting artist. They couldn't make that today. Yet one film has remained untouched by cancel culture, despite being both outrageous and uncompromising. In a way, it's the perfect example of a film woke censors would love to erase, but couldn't due to the film's fan base. Blazing Saddles. To be clear, quick comment. I saw Blazing Saddles when I was too young, probably shouldn't have seen it. No one talked about the racism in it. It was mocking that. Everyone, at least probably because of my age, we talked about the farts scene where they're sitting around the campfire eating beans and they're farting. There weren't many mainstream movies where farts were featured, but they were in Blazing Saddles. And as a little kid, I cared more about the farts than, the message that was there.
Well, when I saw Blazing Saddles, it was on TV, network TV at that time, probably in the late 70s. And the censors would turn the sound off during the farts. So whenever I saw Blazing Saddles, I saw that scene and had no clue what was going on. And didn't find out until it ultimately came on VHS years later.
Well, let's go through this, and then we're going to go to your comments. Yep. Mel Brooks' 1974 Western satire savaged by racism by mocking racists without a filter. This is what the movie, and look, you can look up any number of videos on YouTube, feel free, recreationally. Watch people, there's a whole bunch, if you look, people watching Blazing Saddles for the first time and then showing their reaction and the level of shock. These are younger people who did not see Blazing Saddles when it was first released, but it did become a cult classic mainly because of television. It was a comedy that, I just saw it as like, oh, this movie is mocking Westerns and of course the classic farting scene, which is so good, but it really is, it mocks racism. And so the people who might be offended by it are almost the people that really need to hear this message. I'll finish the story here. It's considered one of the legend's best comedies, a testament to Mel Brooks' creative freedom and wit. The comedy guru is keenly aware of cancel culture and has repeatedly used a variation of "they couldn't make that today" to describe his film. That's true. Yet there's been no effort to censor or tweak the comedy in any fashion in the age of woke. Until now. Here we go. Max, the platform that once yanked Gone with the Wind from its cyber shelves, just slapped a video trigger warning on Brooks' vision. Anyone who wants to watch Blazing Saddles must endure an introduction by TCM's Jacqueline Stewart, who joined the company in 2019 as a host and expert on film presentation and representation.
By the way, preservation.
Film preservation and representation. Didn't I say preservation? My apologies. No. You're about to watch a movie from 1974. He's quoting now this video intro. You're about to watch a movie from 1974 that many consider one of the greatest comedies of all time. Stewart begins in the clip, shot in front of a background teeming with books. Ironic. She gives a quick primer on Brooks' satirical film canon before describing the film's plot. As the storyline implies, the issue of race is front and center in Blazing Saddles, and racist language and attitudes pervade the film. But those attitudes are espoused by characters who are explicitly portrayed here as narrow-minded, ignorant bigots. That's the point. The film's real and much more enlightened perspective is represented by the two main characters played by Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder, she says. She later praises Brooks's approach to satire. Absolutely nothing is off limits, and jokes can tackle any and every sensitive subject. It's a trigger warning without a trigger. Here's a sample of the trigger warning Disney Plus added to the classic film Dumbo for comparison's sake. This program, this program includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. Disney is committed to creating stories with inspirational and aspirational themes that reflect the rich diversity of the human experience around the globe. Max didn't have the courage to do the same. Yes, you must be lectured about Blazing Saddles because you're too stupid to process satire in its highest forms. Yet Max understands how beloved the film and Brooks remain and cannot say there's anything actually wrong or offensive about the film. It's unclear when the video introduction first hit the streaming platform, but a Twitter user alerted the platform to the shift on February 5th. Note, both Netflix and Paramount Plus include Blazing Saddles on their content rosters without trigger warnings. And there's a quote here from a woman named Heidi. Her name on Twitter is Heady Remarks. She says, I'm watching Blazing Saddles for the first time, and this lady comes on before this movie to tell me the entire plot of the movie and how it ends while warning me about the racist language and how provocative it is. We're just gonna put the link to this entire story in the description. But Alan, what are your thoughts on this?
How far we've come. I mean, for someone who grew up in the 70s and 80s and kind of saw, racism as, it is so much worse back then than it is today. And this idea that we've not grown and that we've not grown as society, and movies like Blazing Saddles hasn't brought us to a point where again, we're probably closer than ever to have a truly equal society, a society of equality and of racial equality. And, I just hate these people so much. The assumptions that we are so weak-hearted, weak-minded, and that we need to be saved from that, and that a movie like this somehow, it does nothing but bring racism back is just insanity. And so that's why you need physical media, so you don't have to watch that stuff.
100%.
My copy of Dumbo doesn't have a trigger warning on it. And we, I don't know, where somewhere today we feel like people are stupider than ever, and that we can't think for ourselves. In fact, maybe that's exactly what's going on here. Just telling us that how to think. And I think that's been going on. And I think when we talk about GINA Carano, it's all about some force out there, some dark organization that's right there in our face telling us how to think. And to call Blazing Saddles a racist movie is just kind of, we're getting tired of it.
Well, it's
just getting tired of it.
The point of the movie is
Mm-hmm.
anti-racism.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it mocks a lot of things. Okay, Blazing Saddles is not only about racism. I mean, farts are a part of it, but I'm just saying that it's also a parody of a genre. So it's parodying the genre of Westerns. It's mocking racists. It's like all of Mel Brooks' work. It's, about more than what's on the surface, but it never lectures.
Yeah.
It everything is addressed through humor. And I really think what it does is, one, trigger warnings are condescending.
Mm-hmm.
Trigger warnings are condescending because it assumes you are not smart enough to know that this is, one, a joke, and two, satire. Satire to me is the highest form of comedy because it's making a point, but allowing you to come to the conclusion yourself. So I find it just incredibly condescending. And it also speaks to how dumbed down our culture has become. We'll get to that later when we talk. There's other topics where this is going to tie in very well, but we become so numb and dumb and a just general, diminishing of IQ that this is necessary. This was never necessary because when I saw it when I was a kid, everyone knew A, it's a comedy, and B, it's satire.
Well, everyone got it. Everyone got it when they watched
Yes.
it. I mean, this is the thing is the racists in the movie are treated as simple-minded. And quite frankly, the people who are telling us that this movie is racist are simple-minded. And they're not even willing to watch the movie and discuss the satire, what they're trying to satire about racism in this movie, because it's brilliant. And I think the biggest problem people have with what's going on here is that we all know Blazing Saddles is a brilliant satire on racism.
Yes.
And the people criticizing it don't even see it. All they see are the words on the page, the words in the dialogue, and not the spirit and intent behind those words and in the script, in the foundations of its script.
Look, I am against trigger warnings of any kind. The point, and also, this is why this channel exists. This is how Alan and I became friends. What are we doing? We're having conversations about movies. One of the best parts about enjoying everything from cinema, which would be something you might consider high-minded, or all the way to trauma films. The best part of being a fan of films is the conversation. This takes away, what this is trying to do is frame the conversation surrounding this movie and tell you how to think about it before you've even seen it. It's dystopian, it's Orwellian, and I am against any trigger warning of any kind unless you're mocking trigger warnings, which at some point we need to do. We need to mock trigger warnings themselves.
What's that slippery slope? I mean, I guess well-intentioned people think that we need a trigger warning, and so they put it in there. But what's to say that the next thing isn't to just remove it from the platform altogether, as they tried to do with Gone with the Wind?
Well, look, they edited the French Connection. Gene Hackman's character is racist. That's the point. He's a bad cop, right? They cut stuff. They cut the movie. It's disgusting for me. But in any case, look, this will continue, and people need to call it out, and they need to complain. No one asked for this. They're assuming people are stupid, and it's an insult. And
by the way, this is my favorite part of this of the movie, where they talk about his Schnitzengruber.
The Schnitzengruber scene. No one. Oh my God. All right. You know what? We need a hashtag. Maybe we need people giving the finger whenever they see a trigger warning, post it on social media. What should be, end the triggers? Not my trigger.
Yeah.
Where my triggers at?
I mean, from the big picture, my biggest problem with this is that, the goal used to be to end racism, to bring true equality, racial equality to the United States, and I don't see how this trigger warning does that. In fact, it feels like it divides it more than it does to bring it together.
100%. Let's go to your comments and questions here, starting with super chats. Darth Racer 777 for 5. The sheriff is near. Lol. Love that. Bush and Ryu Cat for 5 says, I'm so glad we're celebrating Blazing Saddles. It's comedy. satire, and social commentary relevant today. Also recommend The Cisco Kid, a Jew as a hero. Also, a lot of
technically he wasn't originally Jewish because he was a last-minute replacement when the original actor
and
bowed out.
Even the movie Porky's, whatever you think of Porky's, there is a message regarding anti-Semitism in Porky's. Also a lot of nudity, but I'm just saying. Hey, very generous from Fear the Turtle for 20 says SR71 has a song called Politically Correct, includes the line, "What happened to make us so afraid that you couldn't make a Mel Brooks movie today?" That was in the early 2000s. The band tried to warn us, guys. Crazy. Lol. That is crazy. There are more chats that I'm gonna have time to get to. Let's actually cut down on those. Let's cut it in half here because we have way too much to cover. Ken Bogus, member for 18 months, says physical media is the way to go. Yeah, I am going back with physical media. I just got the Arrow video release of the 1984 Dune, but yeah. John says we are going in reverse. I am watching Monty Python's Flying Circus and fat about the sheer amount of nudity and contra humor. And this was regular people primetime TV for British. Yeah, I mean, used to, at least in Britain, you could have nudity. I mean, it was
we did on PBS.
It was tastefully done. I Claudius from the BBC. Darth Diculus says art is intended to provoke emotion and thought. If that's too much for you, then stay in your cave. Thank you, Darth Diculus. Stitch, member for 5 months, says, I am not from Havana. I don't know why I said it like that, but I just did. Hey, Rumble. Shout out to the people watching us on Rumble. We appreciate you. $8.24 says, who knew that all the racists had to do to get away with their hatred was call everyone else racist? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the pot calling the kettle.
I'm sorry, what?
You were supposed to finish my statement.
Oh, it's black.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Lord Shax from Rumble says they won't watch it because they are afraid they will laugh and see themselves as racist. $8.24 goes on to say they aren't willing to watch the film, but they are happy to lecture people about history they've never studied. Jim Watson and Mel Brooks being Jewish would owe nothing about racism.
Would know nothing about racism.
Wait, go full screen when you say that. Thank you for that. Phone Punk, is anyone even criticizing it though? This is just corporate risk aversion taken to the limit. It is. And it's you hate to see it. AIA.
I'm sorry.
Hang on. AIA.
I'm trying to think so.
Hang on. This is how media literacy dies. The assumption that the audience is too stupid to understand the film. It's such a mood killer. No one wants to watch a comedy after getting a lecture, or even worse, when someone says this, someone has to say, and I've even seen comedy specials where people do this. This is a joke. And then they tell the joke. Really bad. Thank you, AIA. SP of the North says people who require trigger warnings should be required to wear helmets in public. Matt Rife might have something to say about that. We're reviewing his movie this Friday, The Private Eye. It opens this Friday. Alan, are you going to watch it?
No.
I sent you the screener. You're going to watch it.
Okay.
Well, you know what? We'll divide.
I'll have to watch it tonight then.
We'll talk after the stream. We have
to Lisa Frankenstein tomorrow.
And just so people know, we're reviewing a ton of films on Friday, including Lisa Frankenstein, and David Duchovny is going to be a guest on Friday's show. David Duchovny, folks. We're going to ask him what he thinks of the new X-Files. Ron and Lupe says, how about some more beans, Mr. Taggart? I'd say you had enough. Without fail, my crazy 80-year-old dad still says that line when I visit and my mom serves beans. He doesn't love beans. Nicholas Vargo says Blazing Saddles mocks racism and Westerns the same way Monty Python's Life of Brian is really making fun of biblical epics. This crap needs to stop. No one complained 25 years ago, so why the hell now? 25 years ago, 40 years ago.
Oh yeah, Life of Brian, yeah.
Damien S. I let Alan think for me. That's why I watch the show. Well, thank
That's
you,
why
Damien.
I do the show.
And Phone Punk goes on to say Jacqueline Stewart is a University of Chicago radical professor. That's great.
Yeah. I mean,
I
someone's
want-
got to make a living doing this.
Race grifters need to keep racism going. I
Yep.
do think there is it's almost like you're looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it anywhere. Traffic lights.
Yeah.
Solomon Thornton says Netflix has Blazing Saddles and Monty Python Life of Brian. No trigger warnings. I'm 24 and my mom introduced Blazing Saddles to me and I love it. Mel Brooks is a genius.
Let's be clear though. Monty Python's Life of Brian satired the church, and so therefore it's okay.
Right. Bruce Leroy Jenkins. Technically, can't you put a trigger warning on any movie, media, anything can set you off? If you are so weak-willed that you need it, then I guess you could. It is pathetic and sad if I think you're a person that needs to do that.
In fact, there should be a trigger warning in front of Jacqueline Smith's class.
Yeah, that basically this is unnecessary for people who have thinking minds.
Yeah.
Ryan Landis,
if you have a high intelligence, you will be triggered by this course.
Ryan Landis says, I saw Blazing Saddles as a kid. I got the jokes. There was nothing harmful in it. We all survived it. Lol. And Josh L. Totally irrelevant, but have you guys noticed more and more old ladies dyeing their hair purple or blue? Cringe. Hail film threat. Okay, you talking about old ladies? I love this. Okay, here's why this is great. I love that old ladies are doing this. Let them do it. It's going to make people who are of a younger age with those same hairstyles feel like idiots. So I love it. You know what? Let your freak flag fly. Be who you are. It's all good, man.
Yeah.
And I love that old.
Yeah. And it shows they have Riz. So
they've got Riz. Yeah. Start using Josh, start using the term Riz everywhere. JTPRX, I haven't forgot your super chat. I'm going to speak it loudly.
Okay.
And
then
that sorry, what?
We read that one, didn't we? Or
yeah. All right. Time to pivot. Usually when we pivot, we play a video so that I have time to kind of reset. So there's a new video. You know what? We'll just play it again. We'll just play it again. Just, you know what? This episode of Film Thread is sponsored by Wonder Boner.
Just wait till you see what I've got. It's the Wonder Boner.
The Wonder Boner?
Oh, you laugh now. Just watch. The Wonder Boner. My wife would like that. So, Dave, where did you get the Wonder Boner? It's funny you should ask.
Order your Wonder Boner now. Call toll-free 855-246-9948 and receive the amazing Wonder Boner for just $19.95.
by the way, you look like your cousin Al.
I do. Let's talk about this. Our channel is under attack. That's right. The video that we did where we looked at the sensitivity read panel by some up-and-coming writers, we received a takedown request. And it's possible we could get a strike on the channel. It is for this video. And let me tell you, I just have the copy of the thumbnail. This is the video that we spun from our live stream from last week, where, let me just say, everyone who was watching the channel then had such patience as we went through the first 15 minutes of this 47-minute video. But I need to let you guys know something, a couple of things. One, we got a takedown request. Now, the request is something that we received. And initially what I did yesterday, I got a request about almost a day, 24 hours to the time now, got a request to take the video down. I made it unlisted. So I unlisted the video and I sent the following letter to a person named Tristan, who's from this group. And Alan, if you can look up their website from the people who did the takedown request, It is from a website called roadmapwriters.com. We will put the link in the description. Roadmapwriters.com is a group that counsels and educates and mentors young up and coming writers. Don't put that up exactly yet. We'll get to it at the end
I have it
of this. You have it up.
Yeah.
Just a moment. So Roadmap Writers, roadmapwriters.com sent us a request to take down the video. It's a removal request. I'll just say this. They could take this further. This person named Tristan, who is from the organization, sent us this request. However, in dealing with YouTube, YouTube says, we believe your content is protected by fair use, fair dealing, or a similar exception to copyright protection. We are writing to let you know that we do not plan to remove your videos at this time. You have control over the availability of videos on your channel, including the ability to delete them if you choose. Please be advised, it is possible the copyright owner will approach you directly to request removal or take other action. This email is not intended as legal advice. If you are interested in more information regarding your opinions in this matter, you may wish to consult a qualified attorney. So I've consulted with other people who have dealt with this kind of thing on YouTube. And before I did, I actually sent, in good faith, I unlisted the video and I sent this letter. And I'll read you the letter to Tristan at roadmapwriters.com. Here's what it says. We received your takedown request and have unlisted the video you reported, as we'd like to discuss this with you. You cannot find the video unless you have the direct link to it. In the meantime, we are seeking legal advice regarding this video. It is our understanding that commentary on videos of this type are considered fair use. They are. Before we go any further, it's important that you know that the reason this video was sent to us is that there are concerned members of the WGA that feel your community is taking advantage of naive up-and-coming writers by charging them for what was described to us as bad advice. Know that the veteran members of the WGA are aware of your community, and they feel that new writers may be hearing information that will not be helpful to their careers. We are kind of in the middle here, but the concerned WGA members wanted this video seen and discussed as they are worried about the methods of your mentoring process. I only pass this information along to you. Do with it what you will. I have some questions. Is there a reason you do not want this seen by the public? How much does the community charge for a sensitivity read? And can you tell us more about your organization? We'd love to start a productive dialogue, so we hope you'll consider a conversation with us. I have CC'd Editor-in-Chief Alan Ng on this email thread. If you have any questions or concerns, please let us know respectfully. Chris Gore, publisher, editor of Film Threat. That's the letter that I sent to Tristan. I think it's important to speak about things and to talk about ideas. And if they want to silence us, that is because they don't want to engage in a good faith debate. This is a tactic used by people who maybe they're not so confident in their idea. If they were so confident that this is a good thing, why not come on our channel? Promote the website. Let's show the website right now, Alan. Why don't you? I'll take this off here.
Well, I mean, I'll add to that.
Could you share that?
Yeah, I'm doing. Whoops. I'll state also that I don't necessarily think there's anything in that video that they personally would feel offended by.
Right.
I feel like that it is a accurate representation of what they do and what they represent, and the idea that they're trying to get across. So I would say that they would want to keep it up there. So that the world can see that maybe people who want their services can get their services, but at the same time, you know, there was nothing really incriminating. It states exactly what their intent is, and so I can't see why they would want to take down that video. In fact, why they wouldn't want to publish that video publicly on their own.
Well, I'll just say that. What is this website?
Yeah, I know.
It's the ugliest. Could you zoom in so I can at least see their logo? It's like a postage stamp. Just zoom in if you would, if you wouldn't mind. It's the okay. So I see. I can barely read it here. I'm gonna do my best. It says 381 writers signed to representation and counting initiative.
381.
Oh, look at this. There's an initiative for writers over 45. Connect with industry professionals who will help you develop and prepare to market and sell your script. All programs are 100% online, so you can take the next step in your screenwriting journey from anywhere in the world. Is there anything else below that, Alan?
Just
right,
kind of.
It actually seems like, I'll just say this. It seems like they have very good intentions. It seems
Well, I
like
mean, they certainly believe in what they want to do.
Roadmap,
Whether we agree with it or not, they believe it.
Well, look, you can, I mean, look, you get two people in a room, two people are going to disagree. Yeah. That's fine. But it says we work with executives and literary representation at Anonymous Content, CAA, and guess who? No. Disney. Disney. Work with Disney. Disney mentoring the writers of the future. I like online education. I like self-education. You look at someone like a filmmaker like Quentin Tarantino, famously dropped out of school at the 8th grade. He is self-educated. He is known to be terrible at spelling and one of the greatest living filmmakers today, Quentin Tarantino. We can do, and you know what? That is debatable. You're welcome to take the opposite side of that issue. I just think if you have a good idea, let's debate all the ideas. I think that based on what I saw in that presentation, that I feel like writers may be getting bad advice. Mm-hmm. Maybe getting bad advice. And I think, you know what? Happy to discuss it. Open invitation to anyone who is on that stream to come on and have a conversation with us. Because I want to know if a filmmaker like Quentin Tarantino, who is self-educated, mainly self-educated from going to the movies and working at a video store. I mean, he talks about this. So would a filmmaker like Quentin Tarantino, if he were subjected to a sensitivity read, would he be able to write dialogue, say for an actor like Samuel L. Jackson? Is that possible? What are your thoughts on that? This is authoritarianism as applied to art. It is trying to police art, and I'm against those things. Now, am I in favor of young screenwriters getting script reads and getting notes? Absolutely. Notes are like air, right? You need it to breathe. Yeah, you need it, especially as a writer.
Perspective. You're too involved with your project. You need an outside, fresh perspective.
Precisely. And then, so I feel like being so close to it, sometimes you do need to step back, someone else to read it. That's fine. But having someone look at it and basically rush you through a struggle session about you, make it about you and not the script. And what about other sensitivities? Are there sensitivities with regard to people who are, people who look like me? Are there sensitivities to working class people, blue collar workers? Hollywood used to champion blue collar workers. Now they seem to champion only certain types of people. They are the heroes. I mean, I roll my eyes every time I see, here it is, someone with a Southern accent. They're dumb and racist. It's a shorthand. It's Hollywood shorthand for dumb and racist Southern accent. I just feel like, I feel like old bad tropes are being replaced with new bad tropes. I just made it live. We are not taking the video down. If this gets legal, so be it. The video's not coming down. I, in good faith, sent a letter, waited 24 hours, and Tristan didn't get back to me. You have my email. You have Alan's email. We have responded to you.
By the way, the chat wants to know, what are Tristan's pronouns? What did
they weren't giving to me. Also, by the way, Tristan is the first name. I'm not going to give the full name. Okay. I don't think that's appropriate. Look,
no, we just want pronouns. That's all. Just so we get it right.
You know what? Tristan could go either way. And
by the way, can you imagine what the first note to a Quentin Tarantino script would be?
I want to send it to them. I'm going to call it something else. Blazing
No,
Saddles
I'm saying,
Part
you know
2.
what their first note back would be?
Huh.
This use of the N-word is a little problematic.
Ridiculous. If you know anything also, there's some really good interviews I've seen with Quentin Tarantino where he talks about his early life. His I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Just look up how Quentin Tarantino was raised. Single mother, who had a boyfriend who didn't look like her. And this boyfriend really kind of became a father figure for Quentin and used to take him to movies. Take him to movies he was probably too young and probably shouldn't have seen. But this father figure to Quentin really schooled him on films and was a role model. But better to look up videos where Quentin talks about his early upbringing and how it impacted him. In any case, roadmap writers, open invitation. Let's talk about it. Let's not ask for censorship.
Yeah.
Quick thing also, go watch a movie called Field of Dreams. Great scene with Kevin Costner's wife in the movie is played by Amy Madigan. Really great scene. James Earl Jones plays an author that his works are potentially being censored. You can look up the speech on YouTube about censorship. It's better when we talk to each other rather than silence each other, and better when we talk about things out loud in an honest way, not in a dishonest way to shame people or to make them go through some sort of struggle to feel terrible about themselves. This is a teaching moment, maybe for you. Any final thoughts, Alan?
Yeah, just in case something happens, remember, you can watch us on Rumble.
Well, there you go. I'm going to put this graphic up because I think it's better. Let's go to your chat comments and questions about this. Lots to talk about today, folks. So appreciate your patience. Starting with Jeffro Maddox, who says, for 2, where are the white women at? That is a quote.
I think you could put more feeling into it than that.
Where the white women at? Is that what you meant me?
Where the white women at?
Wait. Alan, go for it. You ready?
Where the white women at?
Well, there might be one in your house.
I just canceled myself.
There might be one at your house, Alan. I'm not sure about that.
There is, actually.
Well, there you are. Yeah. Led Wall for 5, who's a member, says, agree 100% about trigger warnings. If people are sensitive, they can go to Does the Dog Die and check for themselves. Yeah, that's look,
I mean, if you're triggered, it just shows how weak-minded you are. That words can hurt you in such a way that it will derail your life for the day.
One of the most heartbreaking scenes from The Road Warrior is when his dog is killed. Chris Nicholson for 10. Months ago, I met John Cleese at a Comic-Con and he went off on wokeness, calling it a delusion and that they all needed therapy. His handler was super uncomfortable. Luckily, the greats are still based. Hell yeah. We're going to
we lived it. I mean, quite frankly,
yeah,
they were there. They were there when Blazing Saddles was made.
T Neil 89, aka dislikes puns for 5. What do you mean you dislike puns? Have we spoken before, sir? It was on another stream earlier this week. What's that saying? When you take flack, you're over the target or something to that effect. I guess you hurt someone. Yeah, I guess you hurt some sensitive ears. Well, there you go. And at the bottom here, Sean Hu for 742. Maybe just tell the people that need/want it to presume the trigger warning on everything made before 2015. Yes. Joe Haas for 499 says, maybe it's just me, but maybe we are in an era in movies and such where pushing ideals instead of exploration. I don't know. Maybe there is an article there. Oh, 100%. I mean, that's yeah. And let's see here from Nerd Tard says, Tristan is such a Melanie Mac word. Tristan.
What is that?
Tristan Nerd Tard. I like the name. Latino Slant. Hey, do not take the video down. It's actually worse for you with YT if you do. We didn't take it down for 24 hours. I unlisted it. We're not taking the video down. We're fighting it. And T Neil 89, aka dislikes puns, just became a new YouTube member. Hey, Paulie, love chatting with you. MK Solid 82, keep the video up, Chris. Very good. It is not only is it available, we're gonna put it on the community tab and we're going to ask people to watch it so we get it to 100,000 views. I was going to do a video just on the comments from this video because they're really a great conversation. And keep the video up, Chris. Very good.
You could just make a video of that.
We can make a video of the
Make
comments.
sure you edit it, and
We'll do it. Kevin V, they aren't looking to learn. They are looking for validation. True. MK Solid 82. I need Alan to approve my Kung Fu movie script.
I'm the guy. I know everything about Kung Fu because I'm Chinese.
That's exactly right. Red French Moon, who's a member, says, my brother, who was a normie on all nerd things, canceled his Disney Plus because all the new stuff was so boring, he told me. It is. I had Disney Plus for like 2 years. And it might have been 3 years. I had it for 3 years because they had this special deal for D23 members, and I prepaid for 3 years.
Yeah. Quite frankly, I watched Disney Plus for National Geographic.
Well, there you go.
And by the way, Hulu is now available on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Let's see. Max Relax. I reject your reality and substitute my own. Raylo Normie says they don't want a conversation. They want an echo chamber. They don't really want to learn from seasoned professionals like Chris. They want someone 2 years older than them that tells them, good job, good job, good job, good job. I don't even know if look, I have certain advice I think that can be helpful. There are so many more talented people than me to get advice on a script. I've written a couple scripts. I co-wrote the script for a movie called My Big Fat Independent Movie, which will be re-released this year. We're doing the 20-year anniversary of it, re-releasing it. It's great. But yeah, I appreciate that. The Road to Hell has a DEI toll booth on it, says Kevin V. Bill S. Preston Esquire says, intent only goes so far. Everyone thinks they're the hero, especially the monsters. Nicholas Vargo, that was a great and maturely written letter. If this guy doesn't want to sit down to talk things out, then he's absolutely stupid. If they want to start a war, they're going to lose. And Jimmy Francis says, Alan, all you say is correct, but you are not dealing with logical, sane people, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that's certainly true.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, Patrick, that was Patrick Lemire, right?
Yeah, but I think you accidentally hit it.
Okay, but I got to hear this.
Okay.
Patrick Lemire says, study Hegel and find where all the progressive gobbledygook comes from. It's a word salad that is driven by constant struggle change. It will never end. It has always been a grift for hundreds of years. Well, there you go. Anyways,
it's someone I know had to hire a DEI consultant, and it wasn't cheap. And
we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and what do you get in the end? You get nothing. You know, the people who are angry with you are still angry with you, and have probably left. And no one's going to say, "Oh, he went through the session and now he's a different person," unless you're a politician or work at Disney.
Let's pivot. Let's pivot because it's time to talk about Gina Carano.
All right.
It's time to talk about
2 more super chats. I don't know if you want to
2 more super chats. All right, let's go with those. Then we're going to.
Yeah, then we're going.
My apologies. Joe Haas for 499 says, off topic, but I have to ask, have you checked out Disney War yet? Really curious what you guys would think about it. What's Disney War? Can you look that up, Alan?
Disney War. I'm wondering if it's just about the current news about Disney.
Joe Not a Fed for 5 says, for 5 Canadian. Kidding. They want to control what they watch and what you watch. How about you assume we can make our own life decisions? Yeah. That is my beef with all of this. Mm-hmm. I don't care that you hold these views. Don't force me to think like you. Do not force me to think like you.
By the way, Disney War is the book that's an expose on Michael Eisner's 20-year tenure at the Walt Disney Company.
Ooh, the Michael Eisner years. Interesting. Yes. Thank you, Joe, for the recommendation. Alan, add that to your.
But we do know for a fact that a lot of the problems Disney has gone through started in the Michael Eisner era, but it was for some reason in 2016 that they felt like they could just flip the switch and radically change it overnight.
Pilgrim Media for Two says the participation trophy generation are the problem. I 100% agree. Alan, can you look up a GINA Carano story, maybe from the Reporter Variety? We'll go through it. And then also we do have the PDF of it. We're going to go through it quick. So we're pivoting to.
Do you want me to just pull up Gina Carano's tweet?
Pull up the tweet. We'll start with the tweet. Not yet, because I need to let you all know we're very proud here at Film Threat. Today's episode of Hollywood on the Rocks is sponsored by Wonder Boner.
Just wait till you see what I've got. It's the Wonder Boner.
The Wonder Boner?
Oh, you laugh now. Just watch. The Wonder Boner. My wife would like that. So, Dave, where did you get the Wonder Boner? It's funny you should ask.
Order your Wonder Boner now. Call toll-free 855-246-9948 and receive the amazing Wonder Boner for just $19.95.
I'm so glad we finally have a real sponsor for the channel.
Yeah, I know.
It's about time. It's about time we had a real sponsor.
Yeah. I can't wait for that boner money to come in.
Clip that. Clip that, Glenn. All right. Yesterday, the news broke that Gina Carano is suing Disney and Lucasfilm. This news broke not from a press release, but from a tweet from Gina Carano's Twitter account. If you could post up that tweet, yeah. Alan, let's go through it. And then we're going to go through the complaint. And we want to get your comments. Gina Carano from @Gina Carano. Today is an important day for me. I am filing a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney. After my 20 years of building a career from scratch and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter terminating me from The Mandalorian. This is a quote on Twitter from Lucasfilm. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is, I was being hunted down from everything I posted to every post I liked because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative of the time. My words were consistently twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing, destroying, and making an example out of me. The thing is, I never even used aggressive language. I shared thought-provoking quotes, pictures, memes, and occasionally I used my own words, not with aggression, but with respect and occasional comedy to keep the mood light in dark times. Look with your own eyes at what I posted and ask yourself, for example, where did I compare Republicans to the Jewish people in the Holocaust? I didn't. Ask yourself why they were calling me a racist. Was there any merit behind that or history of it whatsoever? No. Look at why I was called a transphobe for making droid noises from Star Wars. Beep, bop, boop was obviously directed to the online bullies and did not in any way denigrate transgender people. Were my questions about masks, lockdowns, and forced vaccines okay to ask and push the subject into the light? Should we have been allowed to publicly discuss these topics at that time without being harassed or censored? Absolutely. Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination, but I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech? Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter into employment. I have spoken to all my co-stars since I was fired, and there is nothing but care and kind words between us. I respect their right to free speech and do not have to think the same on every issue to be their friends and work with them, and I know they feel the same towards me. Pause for a second on that. Yeah. I respect your view. I respect even when Alan has a crazy take. Alan will have a crazy wild take. Still respect Alan's viewpoint. If you could scroll up, Alan, starting with a couple of months.
Okay, thanks.
What?
I'm just saying, technically my viewpoint is the correct viewpoint, but you're allowed to disagree with it.
I think people know from our tone that we joke around a lot with each other. We do like off camera, but that's true.
No, I mean, personally, my best friends are the ones I disagree with, and we spend hours at the dinner table constantly arguing, and we have a great time at it. And we see things from a different perspective because of that. Nowadays you're afraid to say anything because you just don't want to get into it. You don't want to get labeled as something, as opposed to just having a debate about something.
A couple months ago, Elon Musk tweeted that if you had been fired from using the platform X for exercising your right to free speech, we would like to offer these people legal representation. Quite the noble offer, but never in my wildest dreams would I have thought anyone would take on my case against Lucasfilm Disney. Still, I did respond back, I think I qualify, and thousands of people agreed, but I did not expect anything. To my surprise, a few months ago, I received an email from a lawyer who had been hired by X to look into my story and many others. Turns out, after sending them as much information as I could gather these past few months, my now lawyers and X believe wholeheartedly in my case and are moving forward. I would like to express my deepest gratitude and thank you to Elon Musk and X for giving me the opportunity to bring my case to light. As for me, I would love to pick up where I left off and continue my journey of creating and participating in storytelling, which is my utmost passion and everything I worked so hard for. It has been difficult to move forward with the lies and labels stuck on me. Backed and encouraged by the most powerful entertainment company in the world. I am grateful someone has come to my defense in such a powerful way and look forward to clearing my name. Thank you to all the people who have supported me and made your voices heard. I pray God blesses each and every one of you. With love, Gina Carano. And then she posts the for inquiries regarding the case.
Yeah.
Alan, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, this is deep down. It's a political battle here. I mean, the idea that if they find out you're a Republican or a conservative, you are somehow no longer allowed to have a job, and you're no longer allowed to earn money because someone disagrees with you. And this is the dangerous part of where this country is headed now. I remember when I first met you and I started working for Film Threat, and you and I were going somewhere in a car, and I remember thinking to myself, "Oh God, I mean, what if he found out I was a conservative?"
Really, you thought that?
I did, and
Oh
so
my
I started
God.
dropping a few hints here and there, that's this has been my life for the last 20, 30 years. Because I do improv. I'm kind of in the community there, and I will say I'm always outnumbered in these situations. And before it used to be fun to talk about these things. It used to be fun to have the Democrat Republican debate and the jokes going back and forth and us going at each other. It used to be fun, and now it's deadly serious to where it's like I don't speak up because now it's like he voted for Trump. They don't even know that. They can't even, I never told people how I voted. They just assume I did. And now, there's talk of, can I really work with this person again? Can I be on stage with him? Do I feel safe? That's where we've come as a society. And this is exactly what's going on here. She expressed a political opinion and she got fired for it. I know Roseanne chimed in on it as well. She was expressing a political opinion and they gaslit her to the point where they fired her. I mean, look, there's a little more around this Roseanne tweet, right, but you knew that they were gunning for her at some point and looking for one thing that she said wrong or one misstep and then use that to fire her.
Well, I'll just say this. I grew up in a family that was very liberal, but by today's standards would probably be considered center right. which is weird to say out loud. And I've always been kind of just politically in the middle and looked at, I owe no allegiance to any political party. You have to earn my vote. And I have voted on one side of the aisle and the other. And usually what I do is I vote based on who I think is going to F things up the least. I'm not joking. Who do I think is going to screw things up less? This person. So I'll go that way. So, that's kind of where I am, but I've always had friends who were religious. I've had friends who were conservative. I've had friends who are very liberal. I've had friends who are gay. I've, like all my life, I've had you've been around a film threat gathering, Alan. It's a very diverse group. And I mean, real diversity.
We are Film Threat. You cannot say Film Threat is a conservative outlet by any means.
No, you can't. Especially, look, there are writers that are very liberal and good. I want all voices heard. Yep. I want to authentically hear different points of view. I've always wanted that. So maybe you just didn't know me that well, or we didn't know each other all that well personally.
Well, let's just say I always assume it because everyone I know from LA and Hollywood are staunch liberals.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm like old school. And God, I remember when I worked at G4. And one of the producers was Christian, and people would complain to me, can you believe that this one guy's Christian? Yeah. And I'm like, what's the problem? Like, I was like, and that is bad. How? Like, so they go to church and try to live good values. I don't like, what is the bad part of this? So it really bothered me because I saw, and even like I've been friends we had him on the show a couple months ago, Jeremy Kuhn, the director of There's a Disturbance in the Force. Jeremy's a Mormon, right? And we became friends. I met him at the Sundance Producers Conference in like 2005 or 2006. And we've been friends ever since. Like, oh, you made Napoleon Dynamite. And he was like really grateful that he read my festival book and whatever. I just don't care about that stuff. I also feel like I don't understand, which I guess is maybe more of a libertarian kind of viewpoint, is like, you do you, but you try to impose your values or impose your views on me. Yeah. We're going to have problems. And that's kind of where I've always stood. But
yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I stood as a conservative. I guess I take the term Republitarian, where less government, the better, and very much anti-war, especially the way we've been conducting it lately. And then also, I'll be perfectly honest. I like you. I had a diverse set of friends. They were gay, they were liberal, they were across the Mormon. They were Mormon, and that booted me out of the evangelical community. So early on in the 80s and 90s, I got kicked out of the right, and now I'm getting kicked out of the left. So there's, somehow I find a nice warm home here in the center.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I think this, but we're going to go to your comments, then we're actually going to pivot and actually look at the legal filing. Let me just say, this is not about the money. For GINA Carano, this is not about the money. This is about reconstructing her reputation. And there was a recent video that surfaced of a professor schooling a student regarding the transphobia of J.K. Rowling, and the professor schools this student to, well, like, what did she say? There's a lot of these assumptions. This is how people speak, like it's okay. They just make an assumption about a person. I never do that. I like to get to know this person first, and we'll find where we disagree, and that's cool. But to put a label on people, don't label me. People try to do this to me all the time. That's why when I see this, it's annoying. I mean, there are articles about me that have false statements in them, that are complete lies, where all of it could have been corrected simply by doing a quick Google search. I even have a Wikipedia page, which is filled with opinion because there are people there who don't like me. It's mostly factually accurate, but not really. But bravo for GINA Carano. I want to see her win this case, but more than anything, I would like to see a pivot in her reputation. I want the people who canceled her to look in the mirror and say, you know what, maybe we were wrong. And if that comes from it, it's a lesson for everyone. It's a lesson for everyone. Let's go to your comments and questions here. There's a lot. We're going to start with super chats here. Rudy for 2 says, I think Disney is run by the aliens from They Live.
Yeah, they own that movie now?
that movie, first of all, if they remade it, it would not be about, at the time it was kind of implied it was about Republicans and Reagan Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
They might want to change it now. Bruce Leroy Jenkins. Chris, on the Nooner, did you ever say what screening Alan got invited to, but you haven't received one yet? Don't tell me it's another BS POC screening. We're talking about Dune Part 2. Alan was invited and I was not. And then Alan was explicitly told he does not have a +1.
Yeah. Yep. They still hate you there at Warner Brothers, Chris.
Why would they hate me?
Well, you did get blacklisted. You did your publication did sneak onto the set and publish photos.
From what? Batman Returns in the early 90s?
Yeah.
Get over it.
You guys snuck on the studio. You snuck into the studio.
I didn't personally do it.
I know, but you approved it.
Yes, I did.
You were the publisher, editor-in-chief at the time.
Oh, I was responsible for a lot of things that we'll have to discuss at some other time.
I still hold a grudge.
That's okay. All right, let's continue with the. But you know what? I reached out to someone at Warner Brothers. We'll see. I'm hoping to be able to see it with Alan. We may end up doing a special stream on February 15th, Thursday. A special emergency stream. First reactions, social reactions. It'll be a short one to Dune Part 2. Stick around. Nicholas Vargo says, my film threat glass is here with me to celebrate. Well, thank you for that. Bill S. Preston Esquire says, Alan, what font do you use? I have a good friend who is dyslexic.
Yeah, that's it's a font called Dyslexie. XIE. And I believe if you just look that up on your search engine, you'll find it. It's not that expensive.
Wakizashi's Tea House, member for 3 months, says, add trigger warnings to trigger warnings, please. They are annoying. Disney did surprise announcement for Moana 2 this November, both a live action adaptation and animated sequel in production. A new creative low, says Leadwall for 5, who's a member. Yeah.
It's what was the last original movie, live action movie that Disney put out?
Yeah, that didn't too well. Yeah. Patrick Lemire for 499 says, R.I.P. Wayne Kramer. Wayne Kramer of Detroit's MC5. Ted Nugent eulogized his brother Wayne. Wayne left wing. Ted conservative. They were brothers. This is the model. Yeah, he died. Did he die a while ago? I thought I heard that. But yeah, the MC5 were legends in Detroit. Man. Comics Odyssey for 5 Canadian. Thanks for your videos. You have helped me rekindle my love of pop culture. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, he passed away yesterday.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Comic Boom. Gina Carano exercised poor judgment in her tweets, knowing full well they would provoke, but she did nothing wrong. Disney's reaction was wrong and possibly illegal. We shall see. I mean,
she played poor diplomatic judgment. But
right. I mean,
we should not be in this position where we are afraid to express our opinions on social media.
You could say that she was incendiary, but have you seen in the complaint the things that Pedro Pascal said or other things that Mark Hamill says on a Tuesday? Now, I just think it's weird that it's like they've left the men alone and they're going after the sole woman, a strong woman, by the way, Gina Carano. If you know anything about her life, her career, I've seen deep dive interviews with her. I think she is to be admired because look, people have come after me forever. That's maybe why I sort of have rhino skin when it comes to this. When I left Detroit in 1989 to relocate to Los Angeles, people were talking crap about me back in Detroit. I've always been this weird where I have somehow the ability to rub people the wrong way in a really short period of time where they come after me. And by the way, there are videos about me where people are free to comment. They say stuff, whatever, Have your opinion about me. You don't know me. You don't know me.
By the
But,
way, I have to challenge the idea that those tweets were incendiary. I don't think they were. And I think this is the problem.
The one that wasn't a tweet, it was on Instagram. But what's weird is it's aged well because you see how they're pushing division.
Yeah. Or how right she was. Even about all the mask and the vaccine stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying they were wrong, YouTube.
Yeah, but I mean,
they were.
But the thing is, I don't think she said anything that was any worse than her castmates, anyone else on that show.
But
it shows a bias.
It's more philosophical in nature than it is incendiary. She was calling up history and relating it to what was going on today. And again, she would ultimately be proven right.
Joe Scott, Alan, try being black and conservative. I live it every day for the past 20-something years too. I feel you, my brother.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Max Relax says, let Elon Musk defend Film Threat when Disney comes down on it. Keep Film Threat independent for as long as possible. Well, yeah, I mean, Film Threat is not it's not a publicly traded company. It's not, it's this small, you're looking at Film Threat right here. Like,
and we're not funded by some venture capitalist.
We're funded by money that comes into the site, oddly enough, that by the support from advertising, from your super chats, from advertising on Film Thread. I know there's too much advertising. I have a meeting about that soon, by the way. We're going to fix it.
Please.
We're going to fix it, folks. Please be patient. And thank you for your patience on that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see, Max. We haven't been a target yet. Solomon Thornton says, things are a-changing. I knew that this cancel and woke crap wouldn't last forever. Even though I'm not a fan of Musk's Tesla and Neuralinks, I'm glad he's helping Gina. Equity Group says Elon Musk, a.k.a. Yilong Ma, according to Alan. What's Yilong? Oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Yilong Ma.
Yilong Ma. Wait. Go ahead, Alan.
Yilong Ma.
All right.
I'm trying to, yeah. I know you're going for something there, but
Darth Racer 777 for 10 says Gina did not exercise poor judgment. Nothing she stated was incorrect. It's weird if you look at her posts in an unemotional way. I don't think there's anything wrong with what she said. And she did something that I've done forever. It's hardwired into my brain. Question everything.
Mm-hmm.
Question everything. So there you go.
Well, that's why I like to hang out with people who I don't agree with.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Not the Batman says, apparently Roseanne going to get into the lawsuit too. She was also employed by Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Slim Jim 491 says, did you guys see Elon's tweet on the Disney inclusion standards? Someone sent him anonymously. Yes, I have seen it. I actually have the graphic here.
But let's just say it's a secret out in the open public.
It's an open secret in the sense that
you can get to it.
You can it's posted on a part of the Disney website. I actually grabbed the graphic, just zoom in on it. It's very small type because it's so long. But Alan, can you read this stuff? You can read it now, kind of.
No, I can't.
Sorry about that. But yeah, this is the Disney General Entertainment Content Inclusion Standards. It is such an ungodly long document. Standard A, on-screen representation. I'm just going to read this one. At least 3 of the following 5 areas need to be met to fulfill Standard A. A1, characters 50% or more of regular and recurring written characters come from underrepresented groups. A2, actors. 50% or more of regular and recurring actors come from underrepresented groups. Secondary characters, meaningful inclusion of underrepresented groups as secondary or more minor on-screen individuals, including background actors. Series premise, meaningful integration of underrepresented groups in overall themes and narratives. And A5, episodic storytelling, ongoing meaningful integration of underrepresented groups in episodic themes and narratives. Hey, go write your script. Go write your script. Hope you goes well. Then you've got other standards which are similar. It's similar in all of these for creative leadership. Below the line are like other types of jobs on a film or TV set. Here it's like the director of photography, composer, costume designer, editor, production designer, music supervisor, a lot of different roles that are below the line, which is below the line is not on camera. It's the industry access and career development. So yeah.
I think it's just easiest if everyone just goes non-binary. Let's just let everyone, we're all non-binary. Let's all now get jobs.
And Max Relax says, I'm reading a lot of exclusion here. Patrick Lemire says, all she has to do is show Pedro Pascal's tweets that are truly aggressive and hateful, and he got not so much as a reprimand. Yeah, it's weird. The double standard is BS.
Yeah. And quite frankly, Pedro Pascal should not get reprimanded.
Exactly.
And neither should have Gina Carano.
I thought his tweets were cruel. They even showed a producer who took this tweet down, but talked about, I never was aware of this one, talked about putting children of MAGA people into a wood chipper with a picture of a bloody wood chipper.
Yeah.
Who thinks like this that works for Disney? This is the mindset of the people you work with. This is disgusting. It's unconscionable. And this attitude has to come from the top. I need to read this.
But my point is, if you don't want lines drawn for yourself, you can't draw it for people on the other side. It's either free speech for all or free speech for none.
JTPRX for 5 as a member says, new shirt idea. By the way, if you are on our Discord, post your ideas for shirts, or we've had people do designs. I want to point out actually that this shirt was given to me by a good friend more than a decade ago, who bought this at the Lucasfilm company store. Do you think they sell shirts like this anymore? Go full screen on me, Alan, for a second.
Yeah.
Look at this design. It's a stormtrooper, and in the background, it's an American. Jesus, let me do it. Yeah. Here, I'll do it. Okay.
I'm hitting the button.
Here we go. It's an image of a stormtrooper with an American flag in the background. Do you think they sell these anymore? You think these are for sale anymore at Lucasfilm? Good. I'll bet you the colors are a lot different. But
it's the Ukraine flag. No.
Or something else. New shirt idea from JTPRX says, film threat, we out corporate cocksuckers. Won't let me spell it out, the word, and send the SC. Really? It won't let you say COCK?
It won't.
That's weird. But thank you, JTPRX. Yeah, it's we're gonna see based on this. Yeah, now we're gonna pivot. Should we play the Wonder Boner commercial again?
Sure.
Why in the chat if you want Wonder Boner? And
hold on, they're our sponsor, so we have to play it.
They're a sponsor, but I want to see why for Wonder Boner and for no Wonder Boner. I'm seeing nope. No. Why? It's tied right now. It's tied. Why for yes.
Okay.
There's more whys. All right, we're gonna reset for a second. Alan, get that PDF ready, would you?
Did you send that to me?
There's a link, or you can find it. Google Alan.
Google. What's it called?
Look up Gina Carano lawsuit, Disney Lucasfilm PDF. Or look up
Just wait till you see what I've got. It's the Wonder Boner.
The Wonder Boner?
Oh, you laugh now. Just watch. The Wonder Boner. My wife would like that. So, Dave, where did you get the Wonder Boner? It's funny you should ask.
Order your Wonder Boner now. Call toll-free 855-246-9948 and receive the amazing Wonder Boner for just $19.95.
Okay, I got it.
Well, let's talk about this. Here we go. What we're looking at is the legal complaint that was filed against Disney Lucasfilm coming from Gina Carano's law firm representation. We're gonna scroll through this, and I just want to read the very first opening paragraph, which would actually, if we could just go to that opening paragraph under introduction. We'll start there. This could be an opening crawl. I'm sure this already exists. Somebody already made an opening
Someone's
crawl.
done it, yeah.
It's already happened, but you just can't use the Star Wars music. But let's go through these first few paragraphs. A short time ago, in a galaxy not so far away, the defendants are Lucasfilm Disney, made it clear that only one orthodoxy in thought, speech, or action was acceptable in their empire, and that those who dared to question or failed to fully comply would not be tolerated. And so it was with Carano. After 2 highly acclaimed seasons on The Mandalorian as Rebel Ranger Cara Dune, Carano was terminated from her role as swiftly as her character's peaceful home planet of Alderaan had been destroyed by the Death Star in an earlier Star Wars film. And all this because she dared to voice her own opinions on social media platforms and elsewhere, and stood up to the online bully mob who demanded her compliance with their extreme progressive ideology. Defendants' wrath over their employees' social media posts also differed depending on sex. Even though the force is female, in quotes, defendants chose to target a woman while looking the other way when it came to men. While Carano was fired, defendants took no action against male actors who took equally or more vigorous and controversial positions on social media. But the rule of law still reigns over the defendant's empire. And Carano has returned to demand that they be held accountable for their bullying, discriminatory, and retaliatory actions. Actions that inflicted not only substantial emotional harm, but millions of dollars in lost income. Okay, it gets technical here, stating statutes there. One of the things that I found interesting watching one of the LawTube channels, Legal Mindset, shout out to Andrew. Thank you. I feel educated by Legal Mindset. Subscribe to Legal Mindset's channel. Interesting that they filed this lawsuit in the state of California, because state of California has laws which were actually helped put into place by Disney itself regarding equal rights with regard to sex, with regard to male and female workers are to be treated equally. It is clear when we go through the evidence. I sound like I'm fighting this case.
Yeah.
Didn't we just do a lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm?
Yeah, they
Come
lost.
She was that these laws are in place to protect and make sure that people are accountable and treated equally. It is clear she was not treated equally when compared to her co-stars. So while California is an at-will employment state, you can be fired for almost any reason. They gave specific reasons as to why she was fired, but did not equally apply these so-called rules that they made up, that they had. Alan, what are your thoughts on this beginning, this introduction? What we're going to do is we're going to scroll through the document and we're going to look at the evidence that's presented as part of the complaint. But Alan, your initial thoughts hearing the introduction.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of, when I first heard about it, kind of going along the lines of, yeah, well, they can fire an independent contractor however they want, but I think I think we're going to talk about it soon. But the idea that they blacklisted her, I think to me that is where I'd like to see her get the justice in this. It's one thing. I guess they can fire you because of politics, but to blacklist you, that's a whole other thing. And that will have ramifications for a lot of other people who have been blacklisted out of Hollywood as well.
Yeah, there's so many different areas to this. One, I think by filing this suit, what GINA has presented is all of the evidence that you need to show that her reputation was smeared. She was wrongfully fired, and She was wrongfully fired, and the claims that people assume as facts on social media, they're not accurate. They're not accurate. It's just like the charges against J.K. Rowling, which the professor you see in this video who kind of schools this kid, questioning his assumptions and where he got these ideas. There's a lot of bad ideas that spread with midget-minded people. And that's my new favorite term now because it's alliteration. And one of my favorite creators, Stan Lee, was a huge fan of alliteration. But midget,
say he was a midget, but
he's not. He's just a fan of alliteration. We're talking about alliteration here. I think that if this goes to trial by jury, that a lot of people's minds will be changed if they pay attention. And what I usually see when I see someone repeat an opinion that isn't their own, but they heard that this is what they're supposed to think, they're not thinking critically. Whenever you challenge these people, they go immediately to name calling, which is why a moron on social media commented on one of my tweets accusing me of sexism when I was merely trying to state a fact about brands and marketing with regard to Star Wars and Marvel. Star Wars is a boy brand. No two ways about it. Barbie is a girl's brand. No two ways about it. Hot Wheels is a boy's brand. My Little Pony is a they brand. Sorry,
primarily a she brand.
Primarily a she brand. But what I'd like to do, Alan, and
well, I just want to add one thing.
Please.
I've heard discussion on our friends at that Park Place, Jonas and Valiant and but it's the most interesting aspect of this will be discovery, and Disney having to turn over all the emails regarding the discussions behind firing Gina, and that will be the most interesting part, because again, this idea of blacklisting, it's become common practice, and it's illegal, and I'm finally glad that Gina and Elon are going to take it on head on in the courts and bring it out in public. And I have to believe, I want to believe that good things will come out of this.
Well, what I'm hoping is a couple things is that one, she is vindicated.
Mm-hmm.
And this, what this is the beginning of the end of cancel culture. Normies have figured it out. This is not good for society. This is not good for coexisting, because after this election happens at the end of 2024 in November, the first Tuesday in November in 2024, after this election, we have to live with people who did not vote the same way. And are we going to live peacefully, or are we going to continue to dehumanize and vilify our fellow Americans? Don't fall for the divisiveness. Do not fall for it. It's disgusting. We're even at the point where that has to be spoken aloud, because I remember plenty of elections where it's like, well, the guy voted for loss, but whatever, moving on. And now let's make sure we make the best decisions for our country. We are so far from those times. But I'm seeing some great comments. I promise we'll get to them, folks. We're not talking about just super chats here, just amazing conversation happening. Please keep the comments and conversation going. But Alan, I'm gonna take a short break while you actually read. I just want you to look at some of the examples. So scroll down to some of the tweets. I want you to read them. I'll be right back.
Okay. Look at some of the tweets. If I had actually read this ahead of time. Let me see. Okay, so there's a section here about Gina and her credentials. Terminate because of her speech. Let's see. Okay, so all of this came to an end on February 10th, 2021, when defendants announced through the media that Carano had been terminated for her role as Cara Dune and would not be hired for any other project with defendants, all because she expressed her political opinions on social media. In an announcement of Carano's termination, Lucasfilm made the public statement: Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their culture and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Which comes back to that video with the teacher. What were those posts? And let's look at them, and then let's examine them to see if they were truly religious, culturally and religiously abhorrent and unacceptable. Defendant statements characterizing Carano's social media posts as denigrating people based on their culture and religious identities were false. It's also made with knowledge of its falsity, with the purpose of harming Carano to distract the defendant's illegal termination and treatment of Carano. Defendants targeted, harassed, publicly humiliated, defamed, and went on to great lengths to destroy Carano's career, all because she made political statements that did not align what they believed was acceptable viewpoint. Bob Chapek is quoted as saying about her firing, because she didn't align with company values. And in doing so, company said that company values are values that are universal, values of respect, values of decency, values of integrity, and values of inclusion. Like to see where those are written. Chapek's statements that Carano did not stand for values of respect, decency, integrity, and inclusion is false. His statement also made knowing it was false and with the intent to harm Carano. It reminds me of, like, when you did your Make Marvel Mail Again. You made a 4-word statement, and people basically put in their own meaning behind it, and
Right.
Mary Sue wrote a full-length article about those 4 words, including things you never said and things you never meant.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
everybody.
that. And the Mary Sue lied about me.
Yeah.
They lied about me when they could have actually done a Google search or looked me up on IMDb to look at my list of credits. It's that organization cannot be taken seriously any longer. They are an organization with an agenda, and F them.
Yeah. Well, it's that idea.
I will run into some people from the Mary Sue, and I will say those words to their face. How dare you smear me on your platform?
Make sure your camera is running when it happens.
Actually, thank you for reminding me. If that ever happens, I will film it.
Yeah.
I will film it.
Yeah. But it's this idea that you could just lie about something, lie about it enough, lie about it so much that it becomes true.
Well, you lie about it. This happens to Gina Carano. It happens to me on Twitter. It's
After
happened
Richard
to
Gere.
you. It's happened to you about what was the one about Wish?
Oh, Wish, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that exactly happened. They took a quote from Rotten Tomatoes and just applied all the meaning to it. And then when finally people saw the movie, I was right. It was a movie made for teenage girls and not for comic book fans. It was the Marvels, by the way.
Oh, that's right. It was the Marvels. My apologies. Yeah. So, who can keep track? It's, but the thing is this, I really don't like to linger on talking about being attacked. I feel like that just comes with the territory. When you have a strong opinion about something, your opinion will be attacked. It's, to me, are you interested in having a discussion in good faith, or are you Peter from Slash Film? Are you just going to call me a name, you coward? I'm going to see Peter someday in person, and we're going to have some words.
Oh, maybe at the Dune screening.
Maybe at the Dune. I don't think he'll be there. He doesn't work. He doesn't work for Slash Film anymore. He has a YouTube channel called Ordinary Adventures, which I unsubscribed to because he is so disingenuous. I'm trying to have a thoughtful. Sorry, what?
Is he the guy who does Disney travel videos and stuff? Or
Disney travel videos where they pay for everything and then he gives everything a good review? Yeah, that's that guy.
Okay.
And his girlfriend's, she's a sweetheart. Nothing wrong with her. He is, from what I hear behind the scenes, other people have reached out to me about him. I'll let them speak for themselves. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just saying other people have reached out to me. I've heard things about Peter. maybe there's a reason that he protests too much.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But
I have sinister theories about that stuff too.
Some point I'm going to see Peter and we're going to have a conversation. But the point is this, I'm willing to engage with anyone who wants to have a good faith discussion. I disagree with what you said, Chris. Well, what part of it do you disagree with? I think about this, or I have evidence of, well, that's interesting. Sure. I never said, especially because people they'll read in to something, a thing you didn't say. And then what they'll do is, and it's like, I never said that girls cannot be fans of Star Wars. I said it's a boys brand. In the same way that I said Barbie is a girl's brand, it doesn't mean boys can't play with Barbies.
Yeah.
You know, no reason. It's so there's a lot of reading into it. Anyways, yeah.
I mean, look, My Little Pony was the only brand to ever bring little girls and grown-ass men together.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Okay. There's a lot to go through. I want you to, I know this is going to sound weird to request. Let's go through, like, if you go further in the document, you're going to see a lot of tweets. I want to look at the tweets because there are examples given. Okay. So this is an example of the bullying. People were bullying Gina Carano. This is during the BLM riots.
Oh, okay.
They said to her, say ACAB, please. Gina Carano, say ACAB. So here's all her followers saying, hey, support the current thing. What does ACAB stand for? All cops are, I heard it was all cops are bad, but it's all cops are bastards. You could read it either way. I always thought ACAB stands for all cops are bad. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me read this one. On August 4th, 2020, one social media user posted, you're a racist if you completely ignore BLM movement and don't support it. Being silent puts you on the side of racists and oppressors. Alan, do you remember what was happening at that time?
I mean, what year are we? Yeah, it was the George Floyd.
Yeah. So
George Floyd riots. Yeah.
I never posted a black square, whatever you were supposed to
do. In fact, we talked about this.
We had a conversation at Film Threat about it. We did for a day on Film Threat, I believe. Am I correct?
We did something different, but our conversations were essentially do nothing because we saw what was happening to every company and every corporation that posted a black square.
Okay, is that because I do remember a discussion, but I remember like I'm just not even gonna comment. I'm gonna piece out.
I was emphatic with you about not posting anything about it.
No, but I didn't. I'm saying, did we do anything at Film Threat? I thought
we did. What we did on that day was we basically pushed every like meaningful black movies that came out that year. And just
we pandered. We pandered is what you're saying.
We pandered a bit, but nothing. We made no overt statement in terms of support for Black Lives Matter
or any statement against. Like, I don't know, like maybe more information is needed. But yeah, I remember myself, I'm like, I'm just not going to look at social media for a while, and I'm just not going to post for a couple of weeks. There are gaps in my social media, and now I post very little. Like
I post too much.
You post. I love your tweets.
Well, when you get me going, unfortunately, this is not. I mean, other than Gina, I think the only thing I've done lately is I changed my pronouns to beep bop boop on
oh, Twitter. Did you really? Oh, okay, that's cool. So basically, what they're trying to show is how Gina Carano was bullied on social media. Guess who never came to her defense? Disney or Lucasfilm. Continue to scroll, and we'll look at some of these.
Well, no one except for her true fans came to her defense.
Right. We'll look at this one.
It's from Boba Fett.
It's from Boba Fett. Wow. Gina, if you're not racist, then show us. This whole compelling, you must. If anyone ever does that, even if it's something I believe in, I'm not going to do it because you're telling me to do it. And guess what? You don't have power over me. And that's what Gina's pushing back. Gina is not just a fighter in her professional life. She's a fighter in real life in terms of her essence, her and she is to be admired. But Gina,
Well,
if you're not,
the opening line here, Gina, if you're not racist, then show us, support, and donate to Black Lives Matter. What are those famous words from Admiral Akbar?
it's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. And I know people who have fallen for that trap and got eviscerated because of it. You know, companies that posted the black square or posted support for Black Lives Matter then get called out for their racist past.
Oh my God. It was so funny because I remember there was a candy brand. I was laughing with Dante of all things. We're like talking about everything that's going on. Dante James, Verbal Riot Show, subscribe. He's going to relaunch his channel. He told me.
He's always relaunching his channel.
And he's going to be a regular on our new show that launches on, I believe it's February 19th. It's called Versus. We're going to be talking about Madam Web with about 8 other people. It's going to be a packed panel. But I, you know, it was like a candy brand. It might've been like Sour Chews or Charleston Chews. It wasn't that, but it was something like that basically did this whole statement. And I'm like, candy brands are doing this? Like, it just got ridiculous where it was like, we were just laughing about it because like, it's so pandering and stupid. Yeah. But yeah, it says, Gina, if you're not a racist, then show us, support, and donate to Black Lives Matter. Give us money. Use your platform and voice to stand up against the police who are committing crimes against the people they are meant to protect. If 12-year-olds on Twitter can do this, you can too.
Yeah. And let's not forget that Black Lives Matter raised about $1 million.
But much change has happened since then.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it was meant for the community to honor Black people and to uplift Black communities, and I'm glad they did exactly that.
You could scroll to the next graphic. We're gonna go through the whole. We're gonna go through the exhibits, so to speak.
Yes.
A person named Chloe. These aren't trolls. These are people trying to educate you so you can get on the right side of history. Again, more bullying and insults. Let's keep going. Next example from Gina Carano says, in my experience, screaming at someone that they are a racist when they are indeed not a racist, and any post and or research you do will show you those exact facts, then I'm sorry. These people are not educators. They are cowards and bullies.
Yep. I mean, people who if you mention the name Gina Carano to most people, they'll tell you she's a racist. But then when you ask her, what's your evidence for that? They have nothing. You know, it's what they've heard. It's what they've been told. It's what social media has pounded into their brain. And that's what I'm
hearing things. So there you go. Next exhibit. We'll just go through the exhibits.
Should we, okay.
Okay. It's just Gina Carano saying, my heart is filled with so much warmth from all of you. Just when you think the darkness starts closing in, all of you lit a candle to light my way. It really is incredible. The people standing with each other, heart to heart, believe there is hope. And it's just this little inspirational graphic that says there is still hope. And then some guy replies and says, imagine being racist.
Yeah, I think that's a woman, but I'm not sure.
A woman, whatever.
Yeah.
Chris Bartlett says, who's worked on Mandalorian, says, standing with my castmate, Gina Carano, you'd love to know and work with this human. She's a beautiful example of humility and kindness to everyone. And it's just, you know.
Oh, and then, okay.
It's just her being appreciative. It's like an inspirational quote. You know, you're having a good day. When you're having a bad day, it's good to just be grateful. I feel like I'm really grateful. You know, when I think that like I could go down a dark path of, you know, feeling bad about myself, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm really grateful. And then someone
says, from Tugs.
Yeah. This is from Tugs. That Tug Life says, we stand with you, Gina Carano. And then Data Racer says, Data Racer, amazing. Gina Carano is being bullied and harassed by SJW trolls. They're calling her a racist bootlicker and demanding she say ACAB BLM to prove she's not racist. Gina is having none of it, calling them cowards for trying to bully her off social media. And then there are all sorts of examples there. You can, this is in the complaint. We're going to put this link to the PDF document in the description. And then this is she. First of all, Gina's not the first person to point out this picture. This is a very famous picture.
In fact, it's in the movie Origin.
This picture is in the movie Origin, where a lot of people are sig heiling, so to speak, and one person isn't. And Gina says, heartbreaking and powerful story of a man who changed his ways for the woman he loved. Love changes the world one person at a time. There's a whole story behind that. She's actually quoting, she didn't post the picture. She quoted a link to Business Insider, who did a story behind this picture. And it's not an original tweet. It's just, she's commenting on it in kind of an innocuous way, of positivity. So, you know, what's hateful about that? Keep going. We're just going to look at exhibits here.
Okay.
There's a lot. And Gina Carano, this is when there was the lockdowns.
Oh yeah.
Gina says, open up your businesses and churches, put whatever regulations you want to, because that is your right, but open them up. You're telling me COVID-19 knows the difference between a protest or praise and worship? I haven't even been to a church in over a decade, but I sure would go now. And then she follows up with, the world is open, but no one is allowed to work. Working is a right you as an American have. It gives us purpose, focus, pride, and most importantly, a way to support the ones we love. People are dropping like flies from depression and ending themselves, overdoses, murder. Enough already.
Well, it sounds like she's accusing the government of authoritarianism during COVID. That's silly.
So silly.
So silly.
There's over 1,000 people watching right now. If you could smash that like button, we'd appreciate it. And then Ness on Twitter with she, her pronouns in the bio. 50% of Hollywood wears masks and respects the trans community. Too bad you're not included in that. More bullying. Hey, do you just not go by any pronouns? It's hard to tell. These are just people bullying her to put the pronouns in the bio. And her response to all of it, we'll get to it. So she's accused of transphobia for refusal to list pronouns in her Twitter bio. Keep going to the next graphic. It's just people hounding her. It's relentless. Gina, just so you know, pronouns are a part of most languages, and putting them in your bio is just a decent thing to do. Even your coworker Pedro has put pronouns in his bio out of decency. So you liking tweets that mock that just sits wrong with many people.
Yeah, I mean, when the government tells you need to put pronouns everywhere, you should do it.
I don't do that. We deal with a lot of people. I'll say it's less now. Alan, would you say you deal with a lot of people who put pronouns in their like sign-offs on email?
Less of it. I kind of gloss over it. I don't even look anymore.
There's a lot
less.
Not
that I looked in the first place.
There is a lot less of that happening now. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'll tell you, I had the whole pronoun thing and gender, the 30 genders was a long discussion I had with my child. It was just kind of like, a little bit crazy, a little cray-cray.
Yes. So Gina responds regarding this and says, yes, Pedro and I spoke, and he helped me understand why people were putting them in their bios. I didn't know before, but I do now. I won't be putting them in my bio, but good for all you who choose to. I stand against bullying, especially the most vulnerable, and freedom to choose. So she's saying, I stand for freedom, and she stands against bullying.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the problem? You don't have to do it. You can just sort of move on. And then this other person says, not being coy, what is the woke world mad at you about? I'm looking at your tweets. Are they mad you called 2 women in a UFC fight ladies? Fill a brother in. This is just someone saying, what is going on? Like, a lot of people didn't understand what was happening.
And I think that's generally true. I think most people don't understand and don't care. It is that loud majority on social media that gets all the attention. So damn you, clown penis.
No, it's the loud minority is what you meant.
That's
it. Yeah. The vocal minority. And then Gina's response to this person asking genuine, they're mad because I won't put pronouns in my bio to show support for trans lives. After months of harassing me in every way, I decided to put 3 very controversial words in my bio. Beep, bop, boop. I'm not against trans lives at all. You need to find less abusive representation. Here's my thing. You're turning people against your cause by being a bully about it. You can sit there all day. You want to force people to conform, they will turn against it. And they will you actually do worse for your cause when forcing people to do that. And by the way, this is exhibit number 69, Alan. I just want to point that out.
Very appropriate.
Yeah, it's disheartening to see. I remember when all this happened. It's just like you just shake your head and what?
Yeah, we used to be able to do that. Just kind of like let the kids be kids and let's go on with the adult stuff.
I generally don't respond to people like this, especially if they like have like pronouns in their bio, have an anime picture or not a picture of a face, and then they have like under 100 followers. Like, why would I waste my time? So my response usually is a non-response. It's just ignore. I'll tweet again in a couple days and you'll have forgotten this because you're an idiot. Because when you feed a troll, it's almost a reward. This person says to Gina, can you see how some would read that as mocking? And Gina says, I don't think trans people would like all of you trying to force a woman to put something in her bio through harassment and name calling every day for months, such as racist, transphobe, bitch, weirdo. I hope you die. I hope you lose your career. You're fat. You're Alan.
Ugly.
No, I can't read it. It's covered. You got to move it up.
Sorry.
Ugly. So yeah, like you're not gonna change hearts and minds by being cruel to others. Facts. I know trans people wouldn't condone this harassment when they hear about the children, women, and men who have contacted me thanking me for taking a stand against these bullies because it affected their mental health to the point of near ending themselves at times. Yeah, that's happening.
I do wish, though, that Gina would choose between light mode or dark mode in her screenshots.
Beep Bop Boop this is Gina. Beep Bop Boop has 0 to do with mocking trans people and 100% to do with exposing the bullying mentality of the mob that has taken over the voices of many genuine causes. I want people to know you can take hate with a smile. So boop you for misunderstanding. All love, no hate is the hashtag. Moving on. But it's weird. It just like, and look, this stuff, people have come at me, whatever. I just like, it's like I can tolerate it for a bit. Like I got into it with what's his name, where I was just like kind of mocking and making fun. And then a lot of people came to my defense because I'm just like, I'm bored. Like I have literally between Film Threat, 2 film projects I'm working on, including 2 animated projects. I'm basically working on films and projects for the next 5 years, and Film Threat is the day job. It's a balancing act. And yeah, Seal Dread says, I stand with Gina, coming from a trans person and hearing everything that was going on. None of you respected consent at all, harassing an individual to do something and then get mad when they make a harmless joke about it. It's effing childish. Gina, you're amazing. And then someone else, Hexwitch, says, also transgender, you be you, beautiful. The mob will go find someone else soon. You're still my hero. And then Gina posts a heart emoji and a cute picture of a cat. Hug coming your way, it says.
Oh.
There's a, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I
think that's it.
I think that's the most of it when it comes to, well, no, there are other exhibits. The exhibits that are further in the document are proof of things that she posted and things that her co-stars posted. Mm-hmm. You should go to the Pedro Pascal tweets, and then we'll end on that, and we'll read all of your super chats, and the chat is on fire, by the way. Thank you for that.
Is it here or?
It's Pedro Pascal. Just look down. There's more of this, but it's really shocking how much she was not defended by her. No, other way. Carl Weathers did defend her, but that was okay. But let's go to the Pedro Pascal, because you look at like what Gina said and then what Pedro was talking about. See, I read through this yesterday. But here's Pedro Pascal, an example. This is from, so Pedro Pascal is the lead of The Mandalorian. Gina Carano is one of the co-stars, recurring character. Conservatives used gossip columns and headlines to manipulate city politics in the 40s, and it worked. Let's be better than them. Like it ever stopped?
Yeah.
Let's
and like it
going.
hasn't switched sides over.
Yeah. Now he posts a
go.
graphic.
So Pascal made the following post comparing President Donald Trump to Hitler.
Yeah.
So it's got the 45 in there.
It's a 45, but with a red circle and no symbol, but it looks suspicious. That's Pedro Pascal posted that. Pedro Pascal also said, this is Germany 1944, and you see children at a concentration camp. America 2018, and it's children behind bars from the border.
But I believe this picture was taken in 2014.
Yes, it actually later came out that was taken, I think, during Obama.
Yes.
The Obama administration. And then Pascal goes on.
My Nerdy Home.
Yeah, so My Nerdy Home, shout out to Steph. Wait, go back up. I'll read hers. It says, oh, wow. So Pedro Pascal is trying to hide his hate behind deleting this pic from his Instagram after Canel Ryan made a video talking about it. The internet is forever. Sorry. Check it out. And shout out to Ryan Kinnell and Steph. It's a picture of a Confederate flag, and it says losers in 1865, losers in 1945, and it's the Nazi flag, losers in 2020, and it's the MAGA hat, comparing modern day Make America Great Again Americans to people from the Confederacy and Nazis during World War II in Germany. Mm-hmm. That's not dehumanizing at all, but that's something that Pedro Pascal did.
Yeah, but it also points out how one side of the debate can have freedom to speak in very extreme ways while the other can't, without being labeled a Confederate, a Nazi, or a MAGA.
Well, it's just interesting that there's so much here. This is a veritable gold mine of I mean, it's amazing that this is going to be used in a court of law on this, but this is modern. Look, who would have thought that social media would have gotten to this point where a woman's career is destroyed? Mm-hmm. People have been worked up into a frenzy about so many causes that they would bully strangers who they've never met. They would engage in a type of debate that is completely disingenuous, and attempt to destroy a woman's life. A woman who, if you follow her career back to, before she was active on social media, when she was just making movies and engaging in MMA fights, seemed to be a very inspirational individual.
Yeah. Also, let's also point out that her tweets, her posts, were not as incendiary as this or as this. I mean, the level of vitriol that she expresses nowhere near this level.
Look, I'm of the opinion that I think if you actually get hired to work on a show like a Star Wars show, you should never, ever tweet anything political, no matter which side of the aisle or where you think. Just don't post political stuff at all. Positivity, and you're hired by a studio is paying you a lot of money. Do your job. Positivity. Be a cheerleader for fans of that of whatever project you're on, and go about your day. I think celebrities that probably have the best standing are the ones that kind of stay out of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
But the thing
as Ricky Gervais has pointed out, these people have less education than Greta Thunberg. We're not talking about a lot of these people don't even have a full college education. Okay. I'm going to listen to some celebrities and what their takes are in politics. That's the last person. These are celebrities, frankly, are useful idiots for the most part, have almost nothing to contribute. You look at the celebrities that have probably the best, in terms of their reputation, would be people like Keanu Reeves, Ryan Gosling. They rarely say anything. Sorry, Alan, I cut you off.
Yeah, I mean that's more, but on the other hand, you shouldn't be fired for expressing your opinion, your political opinion.
Exactly.
You shouldn't lose work. You shouldn't be denied a job. You shouldn't be denied the ability to provide for your family because you have a political opinion. Because guess what? We all have political opinions, and so yeah, this idea of firing someone is just as wrong. Express it. I don't care. It just says more about you than it is about, your ideas. Okay.
And then here we're going to end with this last one because this one is heartbreaking. This one is heartbreaking because Luke Skywalker was my hero when I was a kid. Why? Look, I struggled like anyone that goes through puberty, any teenager, you struggle with depression. Life sucks. I was a late bloomer in terms of, puberty didn't really hit me until 16. And then I had a huge growth spurt, but I was looked like a little kid. I still look like a little kid into my 20s to be honest. But this is heartbreaking because Luke Skywalker, I love the character. Why? Because he was so optimistic. In the face of impossible odds or dark things happening in the universe, Luke Skywalker was always a symbol of optimism. And to see Mark Hamill engage in, he's totally been perverted by TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. He's constantly posting politics and he hates certain types of Americans. And it says, it's a bunch of people raising their hands. It's not what it's meant to be in this visual, but it says, Mark Hamill just says, I do not see a thing. It's making a Nazi joke.
By the way, Luke Skywalker can be your hero. Mark Hamill doesn't need to be a hero.
Mark Hamill, from what I know about him, seems like a horrible person. And I'm really, really disappointed to hear that. I prefer when you see, it's nice when first of all, I'd like to just not know anything about any celebrity. I think basically social media has destroyed celebrity overall in terms of it's demystified who celebrities are. And we found out that they're pretty dumb. Most of them are pretty stupid. But yeah, I think if you are the ambassador of a brand, you should know that your brand has the potential to be loved by all. But when you do this, what you're basically saying is if you support a certain political figure, you're a terrible person. And it's really sad for me to see that.
Yeah. I will say this about Mark Hamill. I admire the fact that he hasn't blocked Gary Nerdrotic.
Well, there you go. Let's go to our super chats here and your comments and questions from Arcade Heroes for 5. Not related to this, Chris, but huge thanks for hosting that insert coin watch party. I know Eugene Jarvis and George Petro well. That doc is awesome. Yeah. Shout out Insert Coin is a watch party we did on the Film Threat YouTube channel. You can look up watch party, Insert Coin. It was rerun on Joshua Sway's own YouTube channel. He reran it with the movie. So you could actually watch the movie, and in a window was the movie, and the watch party was right here. So really
that was a great watch party too.
One of the better watch parties we ever did. And it was about Williams Midway and games like Mortal Kombat and Terminator and how they were made. Great documentary. Thank you, Arcade Heroes, for that. Pilgrim Media for 2. Never apologize to an SJW. Words to live by. For sure.
Look, if you believe the things you say, you shouldn't have to apologize for it.
Itachi Uchiha says the Joker took over, so to speak. Sin's Corner. Hey, Sin's Corner. Subscribe to Sin's Corner. Social media has revealed many celebrities for the ugly people that they can often be on the inside sad. And Arcade Heroes goes on to say, everyone with a public-facing role at a big company should remember the sage advice from Michael Jordan, Republicans buy shoes too. And Gina Carano wasn't fired. Her contract wasn't renewed, says Darth Scipio. That's actually not true. She was scheduled to be in season 3 of The Mandalorian, which was fully written. She was supposed to be the lead in Rangers of the New Republic, which was announced by Kathleen Kennedy. So she had by the way, the entire film industry is a freelance business. It just is. She's not technically a Lucasfilm employee, but there was a contract for other work. So that is incorrect.
Well, but the other thing also is that when they fired her, they made the statement that they don't work with racists and transphobe. So they basically labeled her as racist transphobe, and they essentially blackballed her. And so because of that, she was no longer able to get a job. So it's a lot more than just not getting your contract renewed. They destroyed her career afterwards, and that's what she's going after.
Yeah, more than just firing her, they sought to smear her and smear her name so she could no longer work in the industry. She was effectively unpersoned. It goes on. Look, I watched many videos last night going through the complaint. I looked at the PDF and went through it myself. They even took her name off episodes of The Mandalorian. Like, she's listed as one of the stars in it. They removed her name. It's like they wiped her from existence.
Yeah. And then also the Bear Grylls show.
That's what I'm referencing.
Okay.
Theoden, King of Brohan, who's a member, says they also create false monsters because they want to be heroic without actually needing to stand up against something scary.
Yeah.
16-bit mascot says culture honesty is a stronger factor than politics. Politics gets mired with law and rules and regulations too much. Culture is the way we shape and learn. A freebie, says Flab, member for 6 months. There you go. And Gunho Mac says, if you think Gina wasn't fired, you should wear a helmet in public. Thank you, Gunho Mac.
Yeah, I mean, it's another thing, just future endeavor her. You know, we wish you well in your future endeavors, but they went beyond that, and that's where the problems come in.
Hey, Maba199 says, don't forget Carolyn. Hope Elon helps her too. Oh, I'll bet he is. That's coming. Sly Jester, keyboard warriors who have never been in a real life fight. I've been in a few real life fights. And Theoden, King of Brohan, I just wanted to talk about Lord of the Rings, but they forced me to care about politics. Yeah, what can you say? The Equalizer.
A bit of politics in Lord of the Rings.
Are pronoun titles now required on resumes? I don't think they're required, but I'm certain that people put them on there. It's a great way to weed people out.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey,
because people with pronouns in their resumes are going to make great employees.
they'll never complain about anything, and they'll be perfectly easy to work with.
Yeah.
In 16-bit mascot for 5 says, cheers, you fine fellows. Always enjoy the channel. Hail the chat. Keep it real, guys. And Andrew Cram gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Hey, to the new members on there, check out the members tab, and there is a specific members playlist of videos only for members, and we're going to do at least a monthly live stream for members only, which we
did the Jackbox live stream.
We did it on, well, you got it. Okay, better. I was at the Rare Books LA show when you were doing it, and I came on there, kind of gave you a quick tour.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, we'll do more of that.
That's great. And let's see. Janen Klassen, member for 7 months, says, who will join Gina and Roseanne the class action? There may be a class action. We don't know yet. But I think I think that Roseanne will be a part of some lawsuit. Davina Duckworth says compelled speech is not free speech.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
ICUP for 499 says, keep up the good work. Gina Carano is going to win this. I don't know.
Yeah, It's first of all the trials in California.
Yeah, the trial's in California, and if it's a jury trial, who knows? Jimmy Francis, who's a member, says, personally, I'm starting to find enjoyment in giving the NPCs facts. It's like watching a robot malfunction. I love it. I love it.
I think, I mean, the feeling I get is that we're starting to outnumber the NPCs.
Well, I think it's because it's not outnumbered. I believe this. We always outnumbered. And when I say we, I'm not talking about conservatives or even Republicans. I'm talking about people who believe in common sense. There is no left or right for common sense. Common sense is just simple common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Common sense decency. Common sense in all its forms. I think that people who believe in that, the middle independents, are the majority. And the extremes, this is a faction of it. It's an extreme on one side of the aisle. And I want them to just go away.
Yeah. Well, the big difference is we have jobs and we can't flood the nation, the national capital for a protest.
Don't tell anyone this, but Wellington says, I work within talent acquisition at a tech startup. And if I see pronoun in a candidate's resume, CV, what's CV?
Oh, it's basically the resume, the list of their work, basically.
Yeah. If I see a pronoun in a candidate's resume, I just reject them.
Yeah, it's a Latin
as term. You should. Davina Duckworth says, the irony of being called a bully as they bully you. Yep. Patrick Lemire, always good to see you. Whenever Gina appears in public, there is a massive outpouring of love. The paying public has never canceled her. There you go.
CV stands for curriculum vitae. It's just a list of a course of life. That's what they call it. So it's it's essentially your resume.
You learn something new every day. Yeah. From Rumble, Aid Ellis 24 says, and the late great Carl Weathers came to Gina's defense. Mm-hmm. And the Sabin Rab MME says, time to cancel culture. I think this is the beginning of the end of cancel culture. If they televise this trial, we might have to watch the whole thing, Alan. We might have to actually do it.
I don't think Disney will allow that.
Contra 84, they attack from Rumble. They attack a person's character when they don't even have an argument. Mm-hmm. And Dandy Jandon says, you can tell Disney is run by morons with at will. They should just fire her and let it be done. Instead, they did public firing, which is number do not accord to HR experts. Low. Basically saying, don't publicly fire someone. That's bad. It's going to be bad because it will result in a lawsuit.
Yes. Yeah, they should have just said, we wish Gina Carano well on her future endeavors, and ended it at that.
ADLS24 from Rumble says, these are the lawyers you pay the big bucks for, lawyers who are more creative than Hollywood writers. A sentence I thought I'd never write. Well, there you go, Alan. Curriculum vitae, says Ms. P. Coffee. Educating me. But there you go. So a couple of quick show notes. We were going to talk about Dune Part 2 today. We are going to table that conversation until either Friday or next week. There's a bunch of videos I'm still watching. We will do that. Obviously, the Gina Carano story, that's an ongoing story. It's going to go quiet for a couple months as they begin discovery. There are other law tubers out there like Nick Rekieta, among others, and Legal Mindset, Andrew, Legal Mindset,
and that Park Place,
among others. So we'll stay on the big news for this, and we appreciate all your comments. But Friday, we've got a big show. Let me tell you what's happening Friday. We are reviewing Lisa Frankenstein, The Private Eye with comedian Matt Rife, Out of Darkness, a movie I haven't seen yet, Marmalade, a movie I have seen, Molly and Max in the Future, also a movie I've seen, and I can't wait to talk about it. We're going to have to cut this list down.
You like Molly and Max? Yeah.
And then we have the director of Molly and Max in the Future, Michael Litwack, is coming on the show, and then the director of Adam the First Irving Franco and actor David Duchovny will be on at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time with us. So it's going to be an hour of quick rapid fire movie reviews, probably less comments from you. My apologies. And then we've got back-to-back filmmaker interviews and David Duchovny joining us. Big show on Friday. I want to thank our mods today. Oh, Gregory McLaughlin just became a new YouTube member. Check out the member video playlist. I want to thank our mods, Lord Thoth, Latino Slant, Grid Iron Masters. I also want to thank today's sponsor, the Wonder Boner.
Just wait till you see what I've got. It's the Wonder Boner.
The Wonder Boner?
Oh, you laugh now. Just watch. The Wonder Boner. My wife would like that. So, Dave, where did you get the Wonder Boner? It's funny you should ask.
Order your Wonder Boner now. Call toll-free 855-246-9948 and receive the amazing Wonder Boner for just $19.95.
I can't, you know what? I can't get enough Wonder Boner.
I tell you.
I literally cannot get enough Wonder Boner.
I swear, Al Gore is your cousin. You guys are a fitting image of each other.
Hey, thank you to everyone who sent in a super chat. Thank you just for all of your thoughtful comments. We like to have respectful conversations here, and I appreciate that you are all willing to engage in an honest conversation. And if you disagree with Alan and I, perfectly fair. Alan and I disagree all the time.
Oh, jeez.
Disagree. It's going to be some good movie conversation on Friday. So we will see you then, Alan.
Let's get out of here.